2024 was a great year for Pokemon GO community days. We had some awesome new shiny debuts, classic throwback community days, and there were some duds. Today we're going to run through and rank every Pokemon GO community day this year based on their usefulness and relevancy in PvE and PvP, and how cool and rare the shiny is. I've created a tier list with the following categories. We have GOATed, which is the best of the best, top of the top community days. We have the great category for the very good community days that aren't GOATed but are still very worthy. We have the solid category for the middle of the pack, but we didn't need it community days. The meh category, which is like the whatever. And then the why category, which are community days that we didn't need at all and nobody wanted them, and why are they here? On the bottom of the screen are the 15, technically 16 Pokemon from the comm days this year because Ponyta had a double community day. So here are all the Pokemon that we're going to be ranking today in the 5 categories. Here we go. We started off with Rowlet community day, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge Rowlet fan, so I'm gonna be a little bit biased with this one, but it was a brand new shiny and an awesome shiny all the way throughout the family. Shiny Rowlet, very, very solid, one of the best starters in my opinion. Its exclusive move was Frenzy Plant, which is always a banger move to have. It helped it become an even better grass type attacker and gave it a hard hitting move for PvP. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a great new shiny, it got a very good move, and I really love this Pokemon. It's not gonna be like this all the way through, but I'm gonna put Rowlet in the GOATed category right off the rip. Then we had our first classic community day of the year with Porygon, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a great shiny. It's a great shiny family actually, but it wasn't a new shiny. Obviously it was a classic throwback community day, so yeah, it's a cool shiny, but it's not really a rare one, and unfortunately Porygon and its entire lineage just aren't really useful. It got the exclusive move Tri Attack, which is cool, but let's be real, when are you really gonna use a Porygon? Not super often. So sorry Porygon, I like you, you're a cool Pokemon, you're a great shiny. I'm gonna have to put you in the why category. They did not need to bring this back as a classic community day. Why did we get in the first place? I don't know. Why bring it back? I definitely don't know. Then we had Chansey community day for the first time ever, and listen, it's a beautiful shiny. Some people think it's ugly. It's a great shiny. It's a real change up from its original colors obviously, but it wasn't a new shiny, and the shiny odds are already perma boosted, so yeah, the shiny part of it doesn't really matter. It got the exclusive move Wild Charge, which is cool, but it didn't really make Chansey or Blissey more useful. It still gets outclassed in PvP and PvE. Like, when are you really gonna pick a Chansey or Blissey? Not too often at all, but it is an elite gym defender, and giving it Wild Charge, I guess, is kind of nice. So in that aspect, we gotta appreciate it. It is an elite gym defender. We love Chansey, we love Blissey, but unfortunately that's not gonna save it here. I'm gonna put it in the Y category. I don't think this Pokemon needed a community day. It didn't move the needle at all. It just gave it an extra move. They could have done that regularly or with an event. Community day, I don't think so. Then we move on to Litten community day. Now that one was a banger because it was a brand new shiny, and it is a GOATed shiny. That white and that red, it's just a nice touch. Plus Incineroar, big fan favorite. What's there not to love about that? It got the exclusive move Blast Burn, which is always a good time. Adding that heavy hitting move to his moveset definitely helps out a lot. So based on it being a new shiny, a great shiny, and getting Blast Burn, I'm gonna put Litten in the great category. I'm glad we had it. It's a great Pokemon overall. I was happy. Now, speaking of great Pokemon, we had Bagon community day classic. This was a banger to bring back. Everybody loves Bagon. Clearly not a new shiny, but it's an amazing shiny family all the way throughout. Salamence is an awesome attacker, plus it has a mega. What is there not to love about Bagon community day? It's a great opportunity to hunt for high IV Bagon and get those extra candies. I'm gonna be real, this is a GOATed community day in my opinion. A little biased, I'll admit, but it's a great shiny, great move, great Pokemon. I'm doing it. Then we had Bellsprout community day. Listen, it was not a new shiny Pokemon. Granted, it is a cool golden shiny. We love and appreciate it, but you know why? I will say though, outside of community day, shiny Bellsprout, pretty rare. I do not have many of those at all, really. It got the exclusive move Magical Leaf, but it just wasn't really a game changer for Victreebel in PvE or PvP. It's a cool move. Victreebel's a solid budget Pokemon, but I'm gonna be honest, not a new shiny, not really deserving of a community day. I'm gonna put it in the Y category. It just, the community day didn't affect it, and I feel like. Then we had Bounsweet community day, which is a new shiny Pokemon. I know it's not the most exciting thing ever, but it's a new shiny, and it does have a pretty cool shiny family with cool shiny colors. I appreciate that part of it. High jump kick didn't really do enough for it, I feel, to, you know, make it super useful. Let's be honest, Tsareena is a solid budget Pokemon, but who's really using that? It is a new shiny though, so I'll give it that. I'm not gonna put it in the Y category, but it's gonna go in meh. It's a cool new shiny. I gotta appreciate that. Now let's move move to Goomy Community Day. Now, it was not a new shiny, but it was still a very rare shiny to have. It came out the year previous at Pokemon Go Fest. It is an amazing shiny, a golden shiny that we all love, and we gotta appreciate that. So it might not have been a new shiny in the game, but it was a new shiny for a lot of people and very rare. Plus, giving it the exclusive move Thunder Punch was a pretty interesting move to add. I don't know if it did a ton outside of like adding a variety to the move pool and adding that spammy move for Goodra. Apparently people liked it, which is cool. As an attacker, Goodra is just not that Pokemon. It's just not going to be an attacking type guy, but it's an awesome rare shiny, and who doesn't love this Pokemon? It is quite a fan favorite. I'm going to put it in the great category. We've now reached the halfway point on the Community Day tier list. Let me know in the comments down below, by the way, how you guys would rank these Community Days, what your guys' thoughts are on my rankings. I know I'm a little biased, but I know that I'm trying to account for everything, and I've tried to listen to what the PvPers are saying out there, look at the raid attacking stats, and obviously looking at the shinies. I think I'm doing pretty good so far, but let me know what you think. And then we had another classic Community Day, Cyndaquil. Now, I'll be honest, I am one of the biggest Typhlosion fans on this planet. I think Typhlosion is awesome, a lot of nostalgia there, but it's got a horrible shiny Pokemon. Also, it was not a new shiny because this was, again, a classic Community Day, so not a lot of love in the shiny department. It doesn't really help it at all. Blast Burn, getting the exclusive move, of course, is great, but unfortunately, Typhlosion is just going to get outclassed by your Charizards, Ho-Ohs, Reshorams, and all that. And in PvP, it's good, but this Community Day didn't really change that. I guess it's a good opportunity to go get a good version of Cyndaquil and whatnot, but let's be real, starters don't get enough love. They're not as good as I wish they were, and the shiny sucks, so I'm gonna put it in the Y category. Sorry, I don't love that either, but I gotta be real. Moving on, we had Tynamo Community Day. Now, this one was random as all heck. It was a new shiny, which is great, and I'm gonna be real, Tynamo's whatever, but Electros is one of the dopest, most underrated shinies in Pokemon history. I think it is Rayquaza's distant cousin. It is so awesome looking, and I, for one, appreciate that. So I'm gonna have a little bit of bias here. I'm a big Rayquaza fan, but I don't know if Volt Switch really made this Pokemon viable. I think there was better moves out there for it. There's still some love for it there in the future, and purely off of it looking like Rayquaza as a shiny, trust me, if its shiny was any other color, it would be in the Y category, but I'll put it in meh. Then we had Beldum Community Day Classic. Who doesn't love Beldum? It's an amazing shiny Pokemon. It's an amazing Pokemon, and it's going to have a Mega, hopefully soon at some point, fingers crossed. Metagross is an incredible attacker. It's an incredible Pokemon overall, very dynamic, very awesome. This Community Day was a great opportunity to hunt for XL candies, a high version of a Beldum, and get the amazing shiny that is Beldum. They really struck gold with Beldum. I'm going to put that in the goated category. Beldum Community Day Classic and Bagon Community Day Classic in 1 year. That's awesome. Then we had Poplio Community Day, a very highly anticipated one, might I add. It was a new shiny Pokemon and a Pokemon that deserves some more love in Pokemon Go. I'm going to keep it a buck though. The shiny's pretty bad. I'm not a fan of it personally, so I am going to dock a lot of points for that. I'm a big visual guy, and the shiny could be a lot better. But outside of Community Day, starters are pretty hard to get as a shiny, so you got to give it that too. Hydro Cannon, as expected, was a great addition for Primarina's moveset, both in PvE and PvP. It's a solid budget Pokemon. Primarina, pretty underrated. I would like to put this in the goated category. I think a lot of you guys would, but its shiny's pretty bad. It's gonna go in the great category. I'm sorry, it matters, it matters. We then had our final Community Day Classic, Ponyta. We had both Ponyta and Galarian Ponyta spawning during this event. I think it's fair to say that Ponyta's shiny family for both forms is amazing. The shiny blue on the Kanto version and the shiny craziness on the Galarian version is very, very nice. So it gets some big points for the shiny. It did get the exclusive move Wild Charge, which did help add some variety in its moveset and helped with its counter. So I'm gonna be honest, this was a very solid Community Day, and I guess I can rank them together. So I'm gonna move both of them in the solid category. I think that's fair. I don't know how much people are really using Rapidash out there. I'm sure there's certain cups and whatnot where it's really useful, but overall, is it better than solid? I don't know. For me, I guess I would say no. Great shiny though, and Wild Charge is a great move, so solid is fair. We then had Sewaddle Community Day, which is cool. It's not cool. I'm not gonna try to save it here. It's a new shiny, and I appreciate that, but it sucks, and it does not have to be a Community Day in any multiverse that I'm in. Shadow Claw was a nice variety move to add to it, but it's Sewaddle, and the shiny sucks, and you're never gonna really use this. I mean, maybe you do, but I'm not. I'm gonna put this in the Y category. I almost wanted to put it in meh because it is a new shiny, and you gotta kind of appreciate that, but I would have rather this been a part of an event, like a Venipede or whatever. I'm not gonna... No, we're not doing that. But finally, we have Mankey Community Day. This Community Day was awesome. It came kind of out of nowhere, although I did predict it at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to give myself some points right there. Which, by the way, I'm going to do another prediction video for 2025, so stay on the lookout for that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and so you don't miss that. This was an awesome Community Day because it debuted Annihilape in Pokemon GO, which actually is an awesome Pokemon and a very useful one too. And it had a special evolution. I just think that it was a perfect Community Day. Now, of course, Mankey was not a new shiny, neither was Primeape, but Annihilape, being a new Pokemon, did get a new shiny, and it's an awesome shiny too. Plus, its exclusive move, Rage Fist, was huge for the Mankey family in PvP and helped out Annihilape as a ghost attacker in general. So I think from top to bottom, this was maybe the best Community Day of the year. Great shiny, a very useful family. It added a new Pokemon, which is the first time they've done that in a really long time. When was the last time they debuted a Pokemon with the Community Day? Was it Stuffle a few years back? I don't even remember. But those are the final rankings for this year's Community Day list. I'm looking back at it now. I think I agree with it. I really do. I think the Y category is totally fair. There were 2 dud classic calm days, and the other shinies just are bad. We did get some new shinies in the meh that were saved by their coolness, which is cool. Ponyta, solid overall. Great calm days with Litten, Goomy, and what's that guy's name? Poplio. But the goated ones, I'm a big fan of. Again, a little bit of bias there, but I really like Rowlet, Bagon, and Beldum. How did we get both of those in one year? I don't know. And then Mankey to top it off. I tried to account for everything. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this tier list. If you guys agree or disagree with me on any of this. I know these things can be controversial, but I like my picks. I'm excited to see what you guys have to say. GG's on the Community Days this year. They were all over the place.